jàmma nekk ci UK Europe US Canada Switzerland ak àddina wërngal képp ak suñu yónneekaay xaalis bu màgg bi nga xam ne dafa wóor gaaw te noppale fii si biir Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer ñu ngi ci ñetti fukk ak ñeent dëkk si biir Afrika ngir jox leen melowaay yu gën si jotum xaalis bi nga xam ne kenn du ko laam-laamee. saytu leen ñu si Google Play Store wala App Store ngir mun a bindu si suñ app bi di Supersonics Money Transfer app ndax ngeen mun a bànneexu si suñ money transfer services yi ay mbégte rek la ak Supersonics.
Gamsobis in focus with Kalilu Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry. You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
Assalamualaikum mbokk yi ñu leen la jaajëfal ci suñ biir Beyond the Line show man la seen mbokk seen xarit son doomi ndey Saare Ba Jaadama tey nag am nañ ko fii koo xamante ne moom nag treasurer la ñu ngi ko ooyee Malick waaye balaa ñu dugg ci biir programme bi rek dinaa bàyyee suma naataango buy Aminata Daba moom tamit mu nuyu.
Assalamualaikum badingol ba jibero kan damen anibel lame kan damen do alballa sole jibe kam mo Beyond the Line de bal janim bitala bella fila kal hakil bulande ko na kunto poliso do la minketa Malick jobti wala fota niola bibe kelala sutura loti be ala danela ala ma alla jango sona ala kanto aya try Gambia no le bakele. What have you
know xam ci Malick Job
Mamour, yeah, the IGP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for now that Dekabi Gambia metul lenyuko because Domire Obela spent most of his lifetime serving the Gambian people. So I think the country is saddened by losing him, and we send our condolences to family and be nyumboka lige yep yalla yerem ko sedal suuf ci kaw.
Okay. Can you tell us who is Malick?
Well, Malick is just like the average Gambian youth who was born in Farafenye and studied there from kindergarten to junior high school, and then later moved on to Nusrat to continue his senior secondary school in commercial areas. And later on in 2015, he went to study in China, International Economics and Trade, and now back home. That is in a brief who is Malick.
Okay, now what is your profession? What do you do?
Well, I'm a banker.
You're a banker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Treasury banker.
Treasury banker.
Yes.
Can you please tell us the meaning of treasury banker and how you do?
Well, treasury banker is basically we do cash management. We manage inflows coming into the bank and outflows going, and we make sure customers are satisfied anytime they want money. The money is available. It's called liquidity management, to ensure that regardless of any GT branch you go across the Gambia, if you need any amount at any given period of time, the funds are available. That is basically what we do there.
Malick, how do you see the Gambian economy?
Well, it's not encouraging.
Why do you say that?
We have a whole, after 50 years or more than 50 years of independence, we still struggling to build the fundamentals of the economy. What I mean by fundamentals of the economy is we're still struggling to get healthcare properly fixed. We're still struggling to get roads, infrastructure properly fixed. We're still struggling to get electricity supply properly fixed, and education, and you continue to name them, food and water supply. Some places in certain parts of the country do not have access to, clean or hygiene water supply, which is shameful after more than 50 years of independence. So from that perspective, from the fundamental perspective, I think it's not encouraging where we are. We could have been better.
How do you see the trade between Gambia and other countries?
Well, Gambia is a small economy, which means that most of the goods and services that comes in, let me paraphrase, is a small, trading economy, open economy, which means most of the import goods and services we consume here come from abroad, because we hardly produce things, we hardly produce goods, we don't have productive capacity, or we have not directed our resources to start producing. So what this causes, it causes dependence on outside countries. For instance, right now we have China, India, and we have Senegal, who are our major trading partners, which means most of the goods are coming from those countries. So this is not bad, but at the same time, it's also posing risks, because when we continue buying goods and services that are produced abroad, we are not creating employment down here. We are creating employment for the Chinese in their country. We are creating employment for Senegalese. We are creating employment for Indians in their country, because they produce those goods and sell it to us. And this also has another impact on our currency, because anytime we want to buy goods abroad, we have to convert our dollars into dollars. So the more we buy dollars, there's the demand for dollar picks up, then the dollars continue to depreciate. So this is also creating another problem, which is security. If there is problem in Senegal today, or there is problem in, let me just use Senegal, Gambia feels the problem, because if there is problem in Senegal and they are not letting goods and services coming out of their country, then which means if we go to our markets, the goods that are mainly imported from Senegal would not be available or would be scarce. This could drive the price of the goods up and reduces the living standards of the people.
So okay, Malick, lima la bëgga laajte mooy every year soon university student yi dañ dee graduate te ñu bari dañ dee wax ne tamit dañ dee graduate duñ dee am liggéey xanaa dafa nekk ne suñ Gambia dafa amul job opportunity wala nun fa demee dañ bëgga nga leeral ñu si loolu tamit.
Okay, thank you. The question boobu is very important. Xam nga Gambia dañ am situation boo xamante ne suñ ko manage it properly, it's an opportunity we turn into chaos or into a huge problem. One opportunity more not turn to problem is that we have a youthful population. More young population you very indolent. And recently, not only graduating from University of Gambia, am na ñoo xamante ne ñu ngi jàng in Malaysia suñ paree gars yi dañ ñëpp si. Ñu ngi jàng in China suñ paree dañ ñëpp si. Ñu jàng in India suñ paree dañ ñëpp si. So imagine year in year out ñuy graduate si university bi ak ñuy jógee abroad ñëpp ñu ngi tase. Okay, job opportunity amut in the Gambia. What we have mostly, su ma waxee job opportunity amut melu ne kenn mënut a am liggéey. Of course am na one or two ñuy am liggéey. But pace bu mu war a amee ak speed bu mu war a amee ak the compensation lu ñoo fay gaay, it's not what it's supposed to be. Loolu lu ko war a mooy economy bi nekkul di dox nu mu war a doxee. Suñu waxee economy moo nekk every activity buy boole nit ñi pour jënd ak jaay ak share things. Okay, léegi it's very rare pour nga gis Gambian bi am na company bu es.
Wow.
It's very rare.
Yes, a foreign companies yi ñoo
Exactly.
Wow.
Very rare nga dégg ñu ne in 1 year pour nga dégg ñaar ñetta ñeenti company US ñëw na Gambia or am na Gambian yu open company US ba ñaar ba ñetta. It's very rare if not if like it's not at all happening.
Dañ dee wax ne tamit comme like Gambian college so for graduate is easier than nga am job than university.
Well, I would disagree with that statement. I disagree ak loolu.
Beyond the line la dang ko wax yep firi yep.
Wow, no, lu tax ma ne dama disagree.
Wow.
It's because so xoolee the Gambia College years before it was a very strong institution.
Okay.
Graduates from Gambia College are given, respect because they have gone through a thorough training. But recently, employers and institutions don't give them that priority because we have graduates coming from the university. Understand? What they should have done for Gambia College to keep maintaining its position, it's to facilitate the Gambian students graduating from Gambian College to pass through the university easier. What that means is, if you graduate at college with a certain period of years being first spent, when you are university, this spend exactly the same years to get a bachelor's degree. Then what is the point of going to the college?
Okay.
So therefore, relationship between Gambia College and the university to make sure that you graduate Gambia College, okay, because of one thing or the other. So you begin your university, they will consider the time they have already spent in Gambia College.
I see.
Then you continue with. Then if not, you also graduated at college with college, and then I graduate at the university, and we apply for the same job.
Yes.
And we have similar characteristics. But I may beat you in getting the job because I'm considered as a graduate
From university.
from the university. So I think they need to look into that. We need to then you want to find connection bond, then you facilitate for students you graduate college. Move them straight. Don't see the college students as failures. They are not failures. But soon limited for it can discourage people going to the college. And the fact that they are paying now should give them more vitality in the country. I'll make a reference point. Come no why students graduate liggéey to luma moy ñi graduate te liggéey amul liggéey dafa am link ak suñ nature of economy mooy importation bi lu ñoo import mooy bëri everything virtually everything dañ koo import su fekkee ne dañ koo import naka la nit ñi di am liggéey because lu ñoo sol lu ñoo lekka lu ñoo tabaxee lu ñoo koolee téléphone yëpp defaruñ ko fii so kan ngay employ doo employ nit fekk defaroo dara so which means dañu war a move towards local production waaw local production mooy yoo xamante ne you can produce them not everything you can produce as a developing country
ibi ay factory yoo xamante ne mango yuy yaaxu ñuy ko def ay juice ay yooyu tamit loolu tamit dafa baax
waaw exactly
daf dee tax Gambia dina mun a am opportunity of job
yes
pour ga ñu am liggéey
yes and this
is la wasi Gambian government Adama Barrow or any person ñu nga xamante ne ñu ci government bi pour mu mun ñoo jàppale ci wàllum façon liggéey yi ni
xam nga recently in fact youths they are taking good initiatives there are a lot of Gambian youths who are engaging in local juice production in artwork to new design ay yére they design ay dala bags and all that stuff the Gambian government should have a policy not only to facilitate finance mo nek dimbalé len ak kom ak xaliss pour ñu mëna start business but also hold tax issues hold also location or facility issues okay so fekkente ne dañ tabax ben facility bo xamantene let's say somewhere around just assuming somewhere around Brufut ñu tabax fa complexe bu reuy bo xamantene dañoo reduce rent bi wara bu gaay di wara fay xalé youth yu gaay wara fay ñu wàññil leen tax wala ñu provide leen credit facility okay then ñoom ñu liggéey understand nga di sell so on that facilitation also dañu war a bàyyi su fekkee ne xale yi commencé nañ di produce those kind of goods dañu war a commencé di limit the importation of those kind of goods because man tey soo ma jàngalee naka laay defaree juice naka laay defaree comme we have this youth empowerment project where they train youngsters with skills and other stuff yow soo ma jàngalee skills yooyu ba pare loo xamante ne man I need to go and monetize it ma make xaalis at the same time yow nga dem import the same goods that I use with my skill are you empowering me or you are just giving me skills like to stay useless? Because if I cannot monetize my skills, then it means I cannot solve my problems with it. So then you want to look not only empowerment but also give them opportunity to ensure the skills that they have learned can be implemented. And this is a very serious case.
Wow.
Because least if we do not take care of this, this is a ticking time bomb. Because every year population is growing on average 3%. So if this population is growing 3%, it means the number of youths are increasing in proportion. So if jobs or the economy is not going fast at that rate, you'll have youths youths who commence à disaster, traffic problem, robbery, instability.
Give me by force la. Dañ la tiyé rek ñu jël sa bagage by force wala ñu ray la.
So that's the problem, because these are disgruntled youths. One of the reasons that most are dying through the back way. It's not like they just want to go.
Yeah.
It's like the opportunities are not created.
am na ñoo xamante ne tamit dañ dee wax ne comme ñun suñ youth si Gambia ni fii duñ dee bëgg a liggéey dañ dee bëgg a toog si ghetto yi nekk di naan ataaya te gis nañ ne youth si ñu ngi def many major role si dëkk bi.
waaw xam nga society bu nekk there is the black sheep and the other category. Actually, you cannot clearly say all the youths are doing effort. Some, but I think that is a small proportion. Because ku dem ba nga mag ba nga eewu nga am sa soxla yi nga war a faj in your right proportionality of sense doo toog nga bañ a def dara. But you have what they call disgruntled workers or frustrated job seekers. If I try a million times and try, and the conditions in this country remain the same, regardless of who is in the leadership, then at some point I feel like I'm not going to make it. This is just natural, it's human. It's not like the youths don't want to do it. It's like it's human. You go to a workplace or you see somebody that you can do better or you know better, the person is working, you don't get the opportunity. No, they call it equal opportunities. And I said, all these problems are like, I'm going to go accumulation, Jallow. So in these cases, when this could lead into a very serious case such as social unrest, social instability. If the youth have opportunity, it's just like when they get the opportunity to fight against Jammeh. You know, it was not only because they want Jammeh out or because they want to change. It's because there have been a compilation, an accumulation of frustrations over the years. So that came and gave them the opportunity to vent it out, which is very, very important. Yeah.
dañ dee wax ne tamit comme soo gisee ñuy frustré di dem baagwe dafa nekk ne comme ñoom amuñ support si dëkk bi fii nii o dëkk bi amul dara loo xam ne dañ koo mën a liggéey.
Wow, see, that's the same point we have been talking about. In an expansive, come like if you graduate with a bachelor's, most of us when we go to university and we graduate, we feel like now a lot of problems should not be there. You should be able to get a work, you should be able to solve your problems, you should be able to have financial stability. But the issue that is having more university graduates graduating without no compensating expansion in economic development. No, it's not about that. It's not about that. There are some people who I met a couple of taxi drivers, who are holding their bachelor's degree. And it's not bad. Even taxi drivers, in a well-functioning economy, economy run well, even taxi drivers should make money. That's the point. The thing is, if this continues to happen more, the implicit or indirect impact will happen more. Salary union am getting. Because there are hundreds and hundreds of students graduating every year. Among jobs, okay, at the same point for employment. The employers have excess supply of labor. They will not raise salaries. Ask how many people have been working on the same salaries for 10 or 7 years. They are there. So let's say and let's say $1,000 every month, $1,000 every month, $1,000. But prices is in market. It's not the same. So implicitly, my real wage is falling down. $1,000 lumumuna jendal demba te munu moko jendal. While the prices yang yoka, man suma salary yoko. Muni make one stagnant place. Inflation is eating it up. So one of the reasons that causes that is when there's excess supply of labor that is pushing a constant pressure on the wages, or there is no improvement in terms of job opportunities that people can move to another company, or overall companies are not making such much money to be able to pay, but which is very, very, not substantial.
Waaye nga Malick am na ñoo bari yoo xamante ne duñ dee specialize from doing one thing. Dangaa gis ki nit ki mu ngi def liggéey bii nii mu ngi create business bu nga xamante ne daf koo mën a def nga gis du yàgga mu job business boobu wokkul rek mu jump to another business xam nga duy stable daal dafa nekk di def bii di def bii di def yow foogu nga kooku dina ko miik.
Well, xam nga like it's very difficult to judge. Like subjects that has to do with judging whether someone is going to make it in one area. You really have to understand the circumstances, person bumneka, right? So overall, we're still going back to the performance of the economy overall. Fekk time man mange jay dollar. Jeki jay dollar is working fast. Man maneke di jay dollar, and that is my only source of income. So with all the compounding problems I have. At a certain point, the economy goes down. Jai dollar nekatu di dox. Suma amute capital bu deuguer dama daanu.
Digala.
If you understand what I'm trying to say. So lolu la de was startup businesses. The problem with startup businesses, especially those that are initiated by youth, is the lack of, huge capital base. Yo xamne dang ci dé mëna fall back. So you also am a startup and there is no facility for you from the government or credit facility that government facilitate for you to, or policies that encourage you to as a backup. So economic demand down, you will fail. So in that case, you needing to survive, you will have to shift to something else that is working at that place.
I see.
So which means we need to target our youths, and not everyone can be in the office. And I'm telling you, not everyone wants to be in the office. I will tell you this. Not everyone wants to be in the office. Some people really want to have their own businesses. Some people want to work. People have different preferences.
But a lot of people say that Gambia now the business is not working because of the Gambian economy is very poor, and to have a capital to make a business in the Gambia here is very difficult.
Right.
What's your take on that?
Yes, that's right. So this is a combination of a whole host of issues. So capital flows or capital for financing, which means one, we need to, first thing first, we need to encourage local production.
Okay.
Local production like shoes, bags, clothing, some petty stuff that Gambians are really good. Tomatoes.
I think that Gambians also should be creative.
They are.
Really?
I believe Gambians are creative.
This stuff is there.
Yes. Now, if you think Gambians are not creative, just look abroad outside.
Okay.
There are so many youths that were here with us that many of us thought they are not creative or they are not ambitious.
Okay.
But once they have the opportunity, they do great. And you have to understand one thing: human skill is different from machine.
Yeah.
Machine is programmed to execute certain function, and the more you use it, the less its performance. Human skill, whether naturally gifted or trained, if you don't use it, it deteriorates. Instead, the more you use it, the better you are at it. Okay? So I'm not afraid of the youth's capacity. I really believe in the youth. They have the capacity and they are smart enough. So even if they start bad, with the intention, they can, because it's a learning process. First, you copy what someone else is doing. Then two, you make your additions. Then the third, you make inventions, innovations.
Fofu doguma la fa amna ñu bari ñoo tamé dañ dé wone comme ça Gambian business dafa métti di nga gis ma create lii maa ko def keneen tamé mu ñëw spell ma di ko def léegi after ñëpp dañoo dem di jënd si kuko di jënd si man. Yeah, daf dé xamul.
What do you think about that?
Foog naa ku nekk da nga war a creative rek nga ut sa own business bul xaal ba nit ki mu start di def business am yow tamit nga copy ko di same thing. Nga gis kii di jaay limon man tamit ma ñëw di jaay limon te ñun yëpp ñu dëkk si benn kër nga teg sa table ma teg suma table. Loo foog business boobu naka la moo doxee?
Well, first of all, it is looking at it in a broader perspective. Okay, man, if I'm a buyer or I'm a consumer, I would like that. Yes.
Why?
Because it creates competition. You understand? So yes, no, the thing is, competition is in business. From the economic perspective, it's fine. Okay? It's fine. As the problem is when the market start to shrink. Market start to shrink more, market is getting smaller and you don't have a lot of people to sell. So then you find different sellers, right? Selling the same thing. You as a buyer, you'll be happy moving from one seller to another, looking for a price gap. Right? So they will not worry, they will still sell. Some will sell higher and some will sell lower. But overall, you as a customer will be happy and they'll be happy too. So the problem comes when this market is shrinking, like people are not coming to buy. And for people to come to buy again, we go to the aggregate economic performance. We need them to have their income. Okay, we need them to want to demand for goods and services to pick up. Then they can buy. But I think the same place. As long as there are buyers coming every minute, I believe you will not worry and I will not worry. But wow.
What about buyers? Comme ça manaki ñu ngi jaay dara te yeb ben la légui yow nga ñew ci man always lan la kele di feel foglo koku tamet mu divert mu def mu defar benen business bi nga xamantene daf ko jaay.
I think that's not necessary. My point, I think that, you know why? Because you know, man, like I would take for instance myself as an example.
Okay.
Man, somebody may jealous benefit. At first instance, I appreciate. Then wherever it is, I will still go back to that place.
Okay.
This called customer loyalty. So if I can get CEO, that is called customer loyalty. I appreciate the service or the way you talk to me. I'm in business also. It's very crucial. Like in Gambia, the problem, we have a little bit of problem when it comes to knowing how to do business. In Gambia, the sellers, you know, feel like so big that as if they don't need the customers. And if the customers don't come to buy, your product is not going to be sold. So then I say, exactly. No, the thing somebody may just you don't more honor, the more respect, the more some incentive because man mala jo halis. Okay, although we are exchanging, but
yeah. Wala any bitik bo dem sa muna la yo lo buga feka mu nge def lenen after yo ki nga xamantene yang ko wara jaay ya amulo patient bobu nono pour xaar koku nu mo def da nga way yo lo indi darasi la nga ma yakamti lo li ak li dafa melni gay amul patient.
Yeah,
lolu tamet mo fa
it's a problem and then lot of they discourage customer. So that business attitude, customer, if you treat them well, wherever you are, they will come and meet you. Man, if I go to a place, I have specific place that I go when I want to buy clothes. I just went there once. And even though if it is expensive, that sometimes I feel I cannot afford it. But I still manage to go there and get a shirt. Because I like the treatment that the seller gave me.
With a smiling face.
With a smiling face.
Yeah.
You know, so all those things are important. But in Ghana, we have business people who just think the customers should instead please them. Which is a problem. You understand? So in overall, we need the economy to perform. For the economy to perform, we need to put in right policies. And I'm not worried about Gambian youths.
You are not worried?
Well, I think it's given the status quo, I think it's going to be a little bit challenging for all of them to get in placed in jobs as soon as they want it. Because I will tell you something about graduates. They are very impatient. And you don't have to judge them. You don't have to blame them because they have been through education for 4 years. So you don't just want to graduate and sit. That is where the frustration comes in. So in fact, in the long, if it goes like that, you will end up doing a job that you didn't like. You end up taking a pay that you know that it undervalues your qualification. You know. But I would do the same way I would give an advice to myself, or the way I would do is just keep on trying. Yeah, don't give up.
They have to believe the vision, I guess.
Yes, they need to have a vision, and they need to constantly work because graduation at university is just the beginning of another level.
Comme sa parents yi dañ la wala support so graduate ñu nekk sa side ñu lay motiver dina gëna tax sa nga am jom waaye ñoo am na ñoo xam ne dañ dee graduate su ko defee seen parents yi ñooy wax yaa xanaa suma xaalis si yow at the end of the day defuloo dara.
Wow, Hamna, I think it's because the parents don't understand. Because most of us have gone to school, we are educated and we know how things work, but they don't. They don't understand how things work. And on one hand, you blame their ignorance. On the other hand, you don't blame them because education is an expensive investment. So if I invest in my child to pursue education at the university for 4 years, I don't expect him to graduate and sit and struggle to get a job. Lolu is in fact going to discourage me to make a further investment in education, because if I educate my child and he graduates and he's earning a salary that cannot support himself, okay, from the investment perspective, because so of investment danga expect return. Normal I encourage putting invest. So if a return is very low, okay, man as a parent, I'll feel discouraged. So I need to think, okay, I have to continue to pay for Modu, for Ibrahim, for Binta, the same procedure. When they graduate, what will happen? Because at some point we also need to support our parents. This is why it is very important to look at this situation now, because the population is expanding and the pressure on social infrastructure is high. So the next hospital you find it crowded. Right? No medication. If you go to the schools, you find it crowded. No quality education. Talking about even the university we are talking about.
What about come teachers see ñu nga xamantene dañ joggé ci correct bi, sometimes you will see a teacher earning maybe 3 credits or maybe low credit, 4 credit after you expect that teacher teaches the student. Yo naka nga gisee loolu teacher bu nga xamantene qualify yut sax amul qualify li fi ni maxi pour mu dem university or dafa just dem college, after teacher boobu noonu mu ñëw di teach student. Yo naka nga gisee si diggante student bi ak teacher bi, naka nga gisee sen janga bi naka la moo mel?
Well, you know, teaching, or let me say education, is very key to economic development. Human capital, which is one of the fundamental factors of production for economic development, is very important, because the smarter your people get, the easier and faster they can do jobs.
Yeah.
Right? So for those students who graduated at high school, that is why I said we should give attention to the college, because most of the people are not given serious attention, because they say, oh, they cannot pass the grade 12 and then they went to college. So we need to change the psychology.
Yes.
Now, I don't have problem with people graduating at high school. You see, we don't have to judge people in education or in society. It's not going to solve any problem.
Most people also used to say that don't judge people by their examination, because sometimes it's funny. Yes,
and you don't know the circumstances in which they are going to school. Some of us have to go to school. We have to sell to help our parents. We have to go and fetch water. We have to go to the village and do the farming. Now, how many hours are you going to allocate to your books? That's a problem. The facilities that somebody has at Nusrat High School is totally different from the facilities somebody accesses in Bansang. You understand? So, but if they come to the college and they do wonderful work, okay, it is there that we have to equip them when they go to the class. Because teaching too is not only about knowing the stuff, but the resources. Because you have, let's say you are teaching grade 9 students.
Yes.
You have a syllabus to cover with those students. You went to the college and you are given resources, you are taught well, and you pass all the requirements. Then you come to the school. But then you have to copy on the board for an entire pamphlet. For the kids to copy on their notebooks.
Yes.
Check the time productivity, the consume, and the energy, and how fast will you have to make it before the exam approaches, and how long will it take those students to prepare before the exam comes.
I see.
So whole in Nusrat, when the students get there, they don't write. Teachers don't write on the board, because all students have their textbooks for every subject.
Okay.
So the teacher comes and solve question 1, question 2, example 3. Gives class exercise homework, which in fact even the teacher should not be copying on the board. They should have a smart board where the teacher has already prepared notes and display them. That's the essence of technology. So ladies, your teacher bonus performant students is performed, obviously some blame will go to the teachers. But do you know the conditions in which the teacher is trying to make those goals? I had students at Bansa when I finished, very unqualified teacher. I just graduated from high school and I went there. And I found the students have no background on economics and accounting, and they were supposed to go. Some of them never even saw a past paper. Hamga, our teachers also should target the way they teach. Target. Target. Yes. You just don't just give students like that. Target. Because if you are teaching someone who is preparing for a certain exam, to know musuñoo gis the sample of that exam question.
Paper bi dafa tegu ñu def
dañoo ragal
even suñ ko xamé sa dañoo wona wa paper bi man musuma ko gis question bi nga way standard nuñ dé bindé sen question bi ak teachers yi nuñ dé bindé sen question bi is totally different. Sometimes da nga gis teacher bi English language dafa hard, da nga gis teacher bi mu use simple English language nga ñëw gis way ak ñu indi lo xamantene yow da nga waru li ni da nga nek di struggle li lan la ni bina bi man xawma ko de understand na first part bi waaye second part bi mënuma ko understand. So student bi xamna topic bi starting bi xamna ko understand na ko waaye because of spellings be yooyu noonu ak naka lañ ko de prononcer naka lam ko xamé student bi loolu dafa tax bobu noonu daf ko feel because xamut sax loolu lan la teacher si tamé dañ wara improve ci loolu ñu leena jox ay past papers past question ñu leena treat hanga ñu treat leen ne lii is a war man loolu laa de exam war la yow naka nga gisee exam war la wala du war?
I think it's not a war, but I think it probably it gives you you know xam nga nuñ ko dee prepare.
Wow.
moo nekk problem bi. Okay, the way we prepare for exams in most of the times is we wait until it is 1 week or 2 weeks we start.
Yes.
Okay, so you have how many subjects to study and how big are the volumes of the books and all that stuff. That they factor in. Why, if like every time you go home you spend 2 hours. Personally, I don't perform when I do last minute prepare. I find it very difficult to perform.
Because you are a human.
I do prefer giving 2 hours every day, giving 2 hours. And in the process because the whole issue is the exam. So if you get used to the nature of the exam questions before 8 months, 9 months before there, it becomes normal.
Okay.
I want to understand. But you already got used to the way they phrase their questions and everything. It becomes normal. So anyway, it becomes a routine thing that you are going to do. But if you never see those papers, you never give 2 hours, you wait until and then a compile come. The fact difficult, then you will see it as a war.
Gambian yi luñ believe na dafa nekk comme ñu surat lañ taamu as a best school moo tax ñu bëri sa suñ demut ñu surat dañ suñ demee suñ gisee seen boppa si yeneen school yi dañ dee def seen boppa comme la ñoom
duñ dara ñoom
xamul dara o school boobu noonu xamul dara.
I disagree with that. I think there are smarter students graduating from other schools in the provinces, smarter students who are coming from the provinces, whom people thought are not good enough. They come to the city, or they come to Serekunda, they get a little bit more access equal to what their peers are getting, and they beat them. So I think while it is important, the nature of learning and the resources available, because at Nusrat, if you go there, they will tell you most of the things is the students that are doing. Students, they hustle. They just get into the system and
But most people say that in Nusrat there are examiners there. So examiner you come like they help them. They learn their job.
I disagree with that.
Wow.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree with that?
Because if you go to Nusrat, you will realize the nature of education, the way they teach their students and prepare them is totally different. First, you have the books. Every subject you get a book, so you don't need to write anything. Okay. And then second, you get why questions as practices every time a subject ends, like a topic ends. They give you assignments or homework that is taken from the WIC exam paper. And they give it to you. Sometimes they even used to give us the paper and you go home with it and then treat the question and come back. Okay. Third, they have extra classes students overstay. Some of them do Pathfinder, extra classes, and some of them even return to the school. You see students coming to school in the morning,
so
and they're close at 9, 10.
Sleep there sometimes.
Yes, we used to have a house in the school.
Okay.
Like the head boy used to spend a lot of time at school, you know, reading our books and studying, and there is internal competition among students. That's why
study bobu nonu da ngeen dé fay ay teacher ñu help len wala yeen da ngeen dé def team ngeen nek bobu
the extra classes, the extra class, obviously you pay the teachers. Okay, the group studies that students do is just students. But usually what you find is one student is very good in one subject.
Okay.
And there's another student that is very good in another subject. So what we do is we come together. The person who knows English tells us what he thinks about what he knows, and the person who is good at math. I have a colleague of mine who's exceptional at mathematics. And when I had math problem, sometimes I don't need to go to the teacher.
Okay.
I go to him and he shows me because there are certain questions you are confident to ask your friend or your colleague that you will not ask the teacher, because teacher might say you think that you are stupid and all that, but with your friend you can ask anyhow you want. So all the culture inside the school is what sets it apart. It's not really what they are saying. But regardless, you still have other students who are in other schools who are doing wonderfully right. I think the important point is to provide equal resources, equip the teachers, and you know, equip the schools, and you will see wonderful results. But if the teachers are not equipped, the schools are not equipped, we are just building. In Gambia, for me, I think we don't need to build new schools. What we need is to, you know, upgrade and, you know, empower or put resources, modernize the schools that we have right now. You know, with all the schools in the Gambia, what's the point? It's just like the way we keep building hospitals that does not have medicines. We don't need that much hospitals.
Yes.
Put them where they are needed. But
what we need is medicine.
yes, we need to put the right doctors, train them, give them resources, and equip the hospital. There are certain illnesses you have in the Gambia, you go to the hospital to die. Or you live and you have to go to Senegal. That is embarrassing. And you have to pay huge sums of money. Where is government responsibility when it comes to health?
Lima la bëgg laajte mooy xanaa dañ doon wax affaire hospital xanaa dafa nekk ne comme Gambia fii amuñ qualified doctors wala lala.
Well, I don't think it's because of lack of qualified doctors. See, to execute a job, pour nga def liggéey mu correct, it's not only about your qualification. Dafa soxla sa resources yi nga am. The thing is, we have to trust our people. It's very important. We have to trust our teachers. We have to trust our doctors. We have to trust our government officials. We have to trust our bank. We have to trust our people that they can do things. Now, if we don't, trust then they will not give them any opportunity to do their job. So first, we need to equip them with resources and train them. Now, it's the responsibility, their responsibility themselves to get trained, and the responsibility of the government to also support them. While I can do, okay, I know how to handle a camera and do shots and everything, but I don't have a very good camera. You are giving me a camera that has been functional in the 1990s, and then you expect me to bring out a picture that looks like good image that looks like in 2021. How is that possible? It's not possible. So first, we need to trust our people. But I see most Gambians don't trust Gambians when it comes to jobs.
Waaye soo xoolee tamit soo demee si yeneen hospital yi dangay fekk ay ndaw yoo xamante ne ñooñu sax xamul naka la ñooy opérer nit ki sax, because even to inject you sax problem la.
That's loolu laa nekk di wax nangu naa loolu waaye loolu moo tax man la training bi yëpp xam nga lu ñoo wax policy is very important. Xam nga ñun yëpp xam nañ loolu noonu, right? Waaye léegi est-ce que am nañ benn policy boo xamante ne dafa look into that and you don't have to send those people away or fire them. No. What you need to do is to bring them up and train them.
Well.
Understand? Not only train them and give them equipment. Now, if you train them and give them equipment, I can assure you that they will perform. But if you don't train them first, so they nursing school mujahal wala mu def 1 or 2 exams mujahal. How training has to be rigorous. You have to take into consideration every factor that is possible, especially those dealing with human life.
Why Malick tamé dafa comme si hospital yi Gambia fi dafa melni ñu nekk top dindi hawa hajana I don't know because da nga gis patient mu ngi teda mu la xaar yow docteur bi nga ne ko ay ma ngeen deewo way ma ngeen def li ma ngeen def lele lolu tamé dafa tax ne Gambian si tamé duñ mëna respect ñu nekk fi ñu nekk di liggéey fi ni ñu nekk seen leader si duñ leen mëna respect da nga dem si hospital nga bëgg garab ñu ne nurse bi or docteur bi mu ngi busy lan la moy def mu ngeen deewo.
I agree to that. Lolu yeb see lack of professional training bila. I'm going to say da nga am educational training, then nga am professional training, which has to do with professional ethics, standards and codes. So especially the nurses and doctors, they really need to be trained. The nurses and doctors and teachers, they are the foundation, they are the backbone of the economy. Because if you are not healthy, you cannot learn. And if you don't learn, you cannot get knowledge and skill. So those two, food and food self-sufficiency, if you don't eat, even if you have knowledge, you cannot implement. So these three, we must take very serious. And like I said from the beginning, it is very, more than 50 years since independence, Gambia Bente is the same problems we are talking about. Okay? You still talking about water and electricity and education. This is called dialogue. Because you right. So because ask those people that have been abroad for like 5, 10, 15 years. Okay, they will still tell you the way they left Westfield and how messed up it is. Is still the same Westfield.
You didn't see their changes?
What changes is there?
And I just love flower.
Really? Sometimes even when they see the photos before they come, they are already discouraged. Because a country that is moving, that's why they say economic growth has to be constantly sustained. Economy should develop, the forest sustain at a certain rate for impact.
But Gambia is a developing country. It's developing, not yet developed. So the Senegal, I just need how Senegal is developing. Senegal is developing faster because I'm not nobody they want like Senegal. Comme ça tibabi lunden de wax like den ko def comme ça gaay ñu ne légui gé dina nekk Sénégal ñu jox leen xaliss bi ni so ñoom Sénégal dafa melni gaay seen interest lañ nekk di seet waaye légui soo ñëwee Gambia fii nii tubaab yi ñu ne gé def fii nekk ñu jox leen xaliss bi nangam ak nangam da nga gis suñu leader si ak imam yi wala christian si dañoo wane fii dëkki lifen la jaamu yàlla lañ dee def façon yooyu du fi xew so loolu dafa tax tubaab yi dañoo bakop pour loolu moo tax Gambia mu ngi dellu gannaaw ba léegi tubaab yi nangu ta dimbale Gambia because of Gambia nanguwuñ lu tubaab yi bëgg.
I disagree. That's the reason why. You see, so in that from that statement, are you telling me if the white man did not help us, we cannot develop?
No, I'm not telling you that. It's what the people think.
Okay, good. First, that is a wrong perception. If that thinking is there, then it means we are never going anywhere. Because a country's development is not something that happens within click of a finger.
I see.
You understand? And your development agenda should not rely. The reason why we're still having this problem is because our development agenda then could structure in a way fit to situation. Okay, so second and said development agenda be then could develop based on that is number one failure itself in the development of the plan. That in that plan, the plan should be such a way that ndimbal su ñëwé dina ko gaawal dina ko gëna gaawal ndimbal su ñëwut is still gonna progress. That is what the fundamentals should be. But if you did say, because so bëggé tuba bi ñu la jox xaliss di nga def luñ la wax. Understand? That is it. And in fact, that is not even guarantee that you will get the money. They have the National Development Plan. When they develop it, they had pledges from the EU that they will get over billions of dollars support. Did it come? It did not come. So the fact that they rely on that to finance the huge chunk of the plan, is the plan implemented? It's not implemented. What they should look at more, then design in such a way that fits in country. More first, okay, River Gambia, for instance, the economy is tourism and agriculture, which is not a secure source of growth. Why? Because tourism is seasonal. Tourism industry is not going to perform. So perform on new legacy hotel doing halis, hotel they will either stop or they are fired or they will stay at home without getting paid. Agriculture, it could be secure source of growth, but it's not at this moment. Why? Because agriculture in Gambia is also seasonal. Depends on the rain. Rain bisulete, that's a problem. Sunye excessively, that's a problem. Sunye ute, that's a problem. This affects employment, it affects consumption, it affects living standard. So agriculture, for instance, agriculture, we have River Gambia. They should look into how to materialize that.
Well, government bisibo pa River Gambia, the family fumne Gambians si momo ko because the family 95% of lulu no Chinese ñoko mom because Chinese da nga dem ligi nga jën ñaata la ligi so demé ci marché bi nekkul ne jën nekko ci biir ndox bi de jën bu ngi fess step ci biir ndox bi waye jën bi dafa melni Gambia dafa jël quota legi Chinese yi ñu jël tri quota bi yépp
xam nga Chinese yi momu ndox bi
ndox bi mom
understand Gambia ñoo mom Gambia give them access so the point is still going back because we depend on aids coming from abroad. This is the price we have to pay. The first time this happened, I was yet to graduate. And I wrote at that time that if things did not change, the first impact is the livelihood of those people in the fishing area is greatly affected. Two, the second impact is the scarcity of fish supply in the local market and the hike in price. This was direct implication when I wrote on my thesis. Exactly what I wrote before I even came back home. So the reason why is this happening, we are getting money from China. Our students are going to study in China on scholarships, bachelor's, master's, PhD. So scholarship pays for everything. So you think they are just going to do it for free?
No.
China gave us millions of dollars to build an international conference that is around over there, right? In the that conference is built by China. So we have to pay a price for that. And the price we are paying is this. We are giving them easy access to our waters. They are polluting the waters. They are driving our fishermen out of work. And they are exporting the fish and creating scarcity of fish in the country and losing employment and living on stand. So the whole problem.
The family like favor with Gambian. Comme numa ko waxé rek dafa melni vice versa la comme ñun dañ leen dé jox ñon tamé mu jox ñu.
Wow, xam nga in international relations, there's nothing free. Like in economics, we say there's nothing that is free.
Yes.
You know, especially when you're dealing with foreign relationships, you must give something to get something. So it depends how you negotiate for your own interest. So if Gambian representatives have decided to just get scholarships and students go study abroad, which is good, one. But when those students come, they have problem of getting jobs. And at the same time, the impact is we are having, that is why I said, from the get-go, our national development plan is not reflective of our capacity. There are certain things that we need to check in terms of government expenditure, in terms of the size of the government. Gambia is a small country. Yes. We don't need a big government that we have right now.
Yes.
To seriously streamline our expenses and to seriously, manage our resources, we need to cut the size of the government, which means we need to encourage small enterprise businesses through youth, small, production factories and protect them. And then this will give the Gambia government more revenue. You understand?
Yes.
And then we develop a national development plan that is reflective of our capacity in terms of financing. We have to utilize the River Gambia and make sure, or even when we are negotiating, we cannot avoid having relations with foreign people. We need. But when we are negotiating, let us get things that are related to technology that will boost this. Come to way. Ndimbal sunye dina ko gawal. While ndimbal sunyo, we will still go. That should be the basis. If that is not the basis, and its chunk of it is from abroad, which means we don't have control of whatever happens.
Bala ñoo tagato ak yow dama la bëgg laajte ne like ñoo xamantene dañ di graduate like grade 12 dañ ko di complete ñuy toog te duñ dee def dara dañ dee wax ne like suma demut university duma dem college ñuy toog noonu nooy mën a wax ñooñu te ak different between like Gambian college and university.
Yeah, I think first let us try not to you hold how many circumstances of those students, because sometimes people have specific targets where they want to go. Lomota at the beginning man is fekentene garden John university, but they don't have the finances to go to university, and they still want to remain until they get the finance, which is sometimes it could be right, it could be wrong, because time is always moving fast. So that is why college should have been a pass-through to the university. You pay cheap, okay? The fact that they are paying is good, because if the college utilizes those funds to bring resources to the college, the students get quality education. But then, at the end, to facilitate them to go through to university, with considering the number of years they have spent in the college. And the college should also increase specialized education areas. Don't just say open education, could graduate and you have to be a teacher or whatever. No, create, other specialized areas that will serve as a founding, step. If they want to go to university, so that they can just pursue. And the university and the Gambia College should work in relation. These are higher education institution. The Ministry of Higher Education is, what is the point if you cannot streamline your two, higher education institution to come together?
Dafa melni like dañ ko xajaloo
That's the problem.
Dañ ko xajaloo comme ça collège bi dañ ko jappane lool ne ko dara légui university mo nekk dara waaye légui da nga gis ne am na ñoo xamantene dañ di pare university te duñ dé am sa lu ñoo def foguloo ñoom ñu nekk ci biir university ñu jànga ay caméra work ay yeneen jànga yoo xamantene suñu demee ba gaay amuñ liggéey yooyu noonu dinañ mëna am ñuy liggéeyal seen bopp rek.
Xam nga jànga is only here that we have a very narrow concept of jànga. Jànga nekkul dem ci school bi rek def book ak dem dugg so no. So gisee like if you see developed countries that when you pick a photographer, he knows photography. When you pick a video camera guy also, he knows the thing. It's because they learn it. So every aspect of learning or education is important. So which means whether in the college or in the university, whatever fields that they have created or established, they should make sure the students have, because it's also important to allow the students to make their own choices, decision about what they have passion for. Because if I coerce you to do something that you don't like, it's either you don't do good at it, or eventually you abandon it. So if people choose to go on vocational, we should give them the best of training.
Okay.
And they will graduate, and we should give them the best of training, best recognition, like any other graduates.
Okay.
Because the fact that not everybody can be in the office, that is obviously clear.
Yeah, that's true. Malick, I would like for you to say what is the differences between Gambia University and maybe China or anywhere you go.
Well, there's a whole lot of differences in the way they teach, and the resources. Over there in most countries, you don't, as a university student, you basically don't need to have printouts and everything like the UTG students struggle. You have books and you have everything, and you don't have to go to a class. You don't need, the capacity is not enough to accommodate all the students. You don't have to travel from one place to another to attend your programs or your courses. Everything is built on one university. It's one spot. All these things are important. The books and the nature, the resources, the technology available. We don't have it here.
Okay, Gambia also should improve on that.
Yes, we need to have, in fact, by now we should have a ready campus.
Okay.
One campus that engulfs the University of the Gambia students have a lot of troubles traveling from one place to another to attend courses. Today you have a course in MDI. Tomorrow you have a course at Faraba. The other day you have a course in Banjul. calculate the time consumed in taking those lessons. It's not productive. It's not efficient.
Malick, bala ñoo dem sa final message to the viewers.
Well, first I appreciate the opportunity that you have granted me to come here and share my views with you. I've said a lot of things. It doesn't mean I am right.
Yes.
You know, I just said my mind and my opinion, and I'm not perfect. And you guys have really asked wonderful questions, and we need to keep doing what we do every single day. You have to be persistent in your goal, in what you want to achieve. It doesn't just come at once. It takes time to build, you know, to be a successful person. You know, so stay to your goals. To the youths, you know, you have to be visionary, and despite the challenges we have in this country, we have to remain hopeful, and we have to trust our people, and we have to work day in, day out. And just to know that every point in time is another level to another point in life, and it's gonna be tougher, but you're gonna be a better person. So don't stay at home and be lazy. No, keep pursuing your goals, and know that yes, eventually you will get to where you want. It's either it comes faster or slow. But I appreciate the opportunity of being here, and I've shared my views.
And thank you very much.
soo bëggee jot xaalis bàyyeekoo UK Europe USA Canada Switzerland ak àddina wërngal képp Supersonix Money Transfer ñu ngi ci ànd ak yéen ak yónneekaay xaalis bu gën a màgg ci Gambia mën nga jot xaalis fépp fi nga ne bàyyeekoo kaatong ba koy na te doo ci am benn jafe-jafe waaw mën nga jot xaalis bàyyeekoo ci sa ay mbokka ak am di jàmma nekk ci UK Europe US Canada Switzerland ak àddina wërngal képp ak suñu yónneekaay xaalis bu màgg bi nga xam ne dafa wóor gaaw te noppale fii si biir Gambia Supersonix Money Transfer ñu ngi ci ñetti fukk ak ñeent dëkk si biir Afrika ngir jox leen melowaay yu gën si jotum xaalis bi nga xam ne kenn du ko laam-laamee saytu leen ñu si Google Play Store wala App Store ngir mun a bindu si suñ app bii di Supersonix Money Transfer app ndax ngeen mun a bànneexu si suñ money transfer services yi ay mbégte rek la ak Supersonix.
Gamsobis in focus with Kalilu Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry? You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
Printing and design SB printing and design dama bëgg ngeen jox ma noppa bu baax bi yéen ñi nga xam ne ni da ngeen am seen kër yi ees yéen ñi nga xam ne ni da ngeen am ay boutique wala ay salon wala lépp li ngeen xam ne ni méngoo na ak wàllu peinture ak design jokkoo leen ak ki nga xam ne ni moom mooy uyo si Seeku Bojang xarañ lool si liggéeyam xam li muy def mun ko te di ko def ak SB printing design lépp loo leen nama si xeetum design paint and everything li ngeen soxla si seen boutique seen néeg seen kër yi ees yi dama ne jokkoo leen ak moom si 331 3415 331 3415 nekk foofu sa Serekunda ci Kistown jokkoo leen ak ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñooy SB printing design ñun designer leen ba seen xol sedda li sedda sa xol ñun loolu moo ñu soxal ak SB printing design taaral sa kër taaral sa dëkkuwaay.
Good vibes when me and the roots rock reggae. Real vibes in a Gambian talent it dead. Good vibes, love it when it rocks steady. Make it play every day. Good vibes when me and the roots rock reggae. Real vibes in a Gambian talent, yes it dead. Real vibes, I love it when it rocks steady. Make it play every day.